Okay, tons of travelling this week. Let me take you to the islands of Croatia for the Mitus 4 Islands, to Costa de Barcelona for the International Catalan Cup, round 1 of the International d'Italia series, to Brazil for the Araxa Copa International MTB action, and not forgetting the Shark Attack Bike Festival in Saalhausen and the IXS Downhill in Maribor, Slovenia. Let's not delay another minute. Race news time. It must be unforgettable to compete in the Mitus 4 Islands stage race. The location is astonishing and the terrain looks unique. Riding ancient roads, climbing through groves and passing stunning coastline scenery. The teams of 2 riders are in for something special on this race. Each team consists of 2 riders in 4 days of racing. The participants will ride 270 kilometres on 4 islands and climb 5,000 metres. The stage is taking in the beautiful locations on the island of Kirk, island of Rab, island of Kresh and the island of Los Sinj. The men's race saw a crazy tight battle in stage 1 between the Mitus team of Czech riders Filip Adel and Michael Canera and the cross racing team of Bartolomej Wawek and Fabian Giga. The cross teammates finishing just 1 second ahead of the Czech duo. Over 4 days of tight racing, consistency was key. Mitus team embraced this mantra and finished in 2nd place on every single stage, resulting in the lowest overall time by 1 minute and 32 seconds. Tight racing considering the race is over 4 days. Race favourites Cross Racing Team followed up with a strong 2nd place just ahead of Alberti Mateus and Christoph Suku of Team Texpa Simplon in 3rd. The margins in the women's racing were definitely a bit bigger, but consistency remained key, consistently finishing in 1st place that is. Entering under the team name of Swiss girls Esther Seuss and Cornelia Hoog rode a blinder, winning every single stage by decent margins too, giving them the overall win by an hour's gap ahead of 2nd place. Well done Swiss girls, fantastic ride. 2nd place actually went to Czech duo of Vendula Kentuva and Lenka Fridrikova of the Ghost Mitus team, the Italian duo of Lorenza Menapace and Chiara Selva of Sendro Bike Val di Sol rounded out 3rd place, with just a half an hour deficit behind Ghost Mitus, but riding clear of the remainder of the field by over 2 hours. Araxa was the location for an epic race in the CI-MTB calendar this weekend. Brazil has some incredible terrain for mountain bikes and this race is no exception. In its 15th year, the Araxa attracts riders from all over the world. One of the only 4 Oars category UCI events in the mountain bike calendar and one of Latin America's biggest races. The Araxa has reputation to uphold and it did just that, providing some epic racing over the weekend. Henrique Avancini of Cannondale Factory Racing took the top spot in a tight battle between him and Luis Henrique Cacuzzi of Mauro Ribera Scott, coming down to a sprint finish between the pair, with Avancini just having the legs to take it, just 3 seconds in it when it came down to the line. 3rd place went to Argentinian Catriel Soto of Selección Argentina de MTB, a minute behind the pace of the top 2 riders. A similar story in the women's race saw American Chloe Woodruff of Stan's Pivot Pro Team in a tight battle with native Riza Galoo of Prima Flor Mondraker. It was Chloe's 4th time in Brazil, but 1st at the Araxa, but she really excelled on the fast and difficult track, holding off Riza's strategic attacks until the very end. 3rd place went to Augustina Maria Apeza of Merida, Argentina, 4 minutes off the pace, but a strong ride all the same. Shark Attack Bike Festival in Saalhausen saw some very sticky conditions on a super technical cross-country course that would challenge everyone who took part. The women's race would see the welcome return of Anne Terpstra on her Ghost. She's been AWOL from racing after a crash in January that resulted in a 3-month layoff to allow her ankle injury to recover. Anne would have a good day's racing and finally make the podium in 3rd place, but she was away down on her race rivals, although to be fair, the result was probably much less important than getting some riding time for Anne. Ahead of her, it was imperious win for Germany's Elisabeth Brandau, who was nearly 8 minutes clear of 2nd place Sophie von Bergswort. In the men's elite, we saw Ruben Scheer take his first win of the season, the Belgian managing to best a strong field of racers who again had to battle very slippery conditions where any small root or rock could see you on the deck. Ruben held off Germany's Ben Sweehoff in a tough battle, gapping the German by 10 seconds at the line. In third was Mark Bouwmeester of the Netherlands, who was a further 50 seconds back. Now to the IXS downhill. It's the first big race of the season and it got cracking at the legendary World Cup venue of Maribor in Slovenia. This race was always going to give us a few ideas about the coming weekend's downhill World Cup. Round 1 in Lycra, Croatia. Every rider wanted to prove their form on a rooty, slippery and technical track that had plenty of lines to choose from, and the testing conditions would make for interesting reading once it was all done and dusted, although there wasn't much dust, to be fair. It was the smallest of margins separating Miriam Nicole of Commensel Valnord and Tracy Hanna of Polygon at the top step in the women's, just hundredths between them. Nicole taking first blood of the season, very interesting result. The UK's Laurie Greenland brought his Mondraker home ahead of Ormare Pyrian's Commensel by a clear 2 seconds to take the win, and the confidence going into Losinge. Back in third but ahead of the rest was Brooke McDonald. He was a couple more seconds back. Notable result was World Cup contender Troy Brosnan, who was caught out by the rain and ended up in 12th spot. Not the position he would be looking for ahead of round 1 in the World Cup, but maybe he's getting those bad results out of the way. Who knows? Round 1 of the International d'Italia series kicked off with the Marlena Südtirol Sunshine Race in Niles. The racing was always going to be at a blistering pace as the elite category was ram-packed with World Cup elites. Thomas RN Racing's Matthias Flukiger took the win literally on the line from Stefan Tempier of Bianche Countervail. Maxime Marot brought his Cannondale home in third, a further minute back. Florian Vogel was in fourth, just ahead of the first Italian home, Giol Bertolini. Both those guys on Focus bikes, of course. In the women's elite race, it was the Swiss 1 and 2. Sina Frey of Ghost Factory Racing had time to enjoy crossing the line in what would be her maiden win for the team. Sina was just ahead of Linda Indegand on her Focus. These two both completed the race in 1 hour and 34 minutes. The legendary Gunrita Dale of Merida Gunrita was in third, just 20 seconds back. Love seeing Gunrita ride. The junior racing was packed full of talent, but coming home in first for the junior men's was Filippo Fontana. Junior women's victory went to Laura Steger, who was in full control for a comfortable win. Congrats to the both of them. Also this week we saw action in the Copa Catalana International MTB race in Santa Susana on the Costa del Barcelona. This event had a huge entry which meant for some frantic action off the start line. A tough and technical race awaited, but it was all made to look easy by Oliver Gilabert, who sped clear from the beginning and then cruised away to win with ease from series leader Alejandro Gomez Diaz, and Dario Gasco just behind. Sandra Centanez was light years ahead in the elite women's, taking the win from Magdalene Duran Garcia by over 2 minutes. Nomi Moreno rounded out the podium in third place. Loved the racing this week, and we can look forward to more of the same next week with the World Cup downhill kicking off in Croatia. Who's your money on this year? Leave your answers in the comment section down below. Make sure you join me on the Dirt Shed Show this Friday, where we'll be talking more about it. Did we miss your event? If you want to see your race report on the show, then send it in to racenews@gmbn.com and we will feature it just here. If you've been racing yourself and want to see your efforts featured too, then feel free to send us a pic or a video of your race day. I would love to see it. Thanks for watching, and stay with us here on GMBN by clicking just here to see our car park battle number 2 with Ollie Wilkins, Brendan Fairclough and our very own Blake Sampson. Hello! Click on the globe to subscribe, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up like.